Recently, I have made a video in which I have remade every single song from Kids See Ghosts. It had came to my attention that a lot of people were asking me to make an in-depth video for Reborn. And so this is exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to remake the entire song from scratch again. And I'm going to go through the plugins, presets, drum samples, and the effects and everything else. So the song tempo is 100 BPM. And the first sound you hear on that song is a piano sound. Now you can use whatever piano you want. The plugin that I use is Addictive Keys. Now I know Addictive Keys is not free. It's hella expensive too. However, you can use whatever piano you want because I feel like the effects that we use on these pianos are more important than the preset itself. The effects alone can get us a long way. So the bass preset that we use is not really all that important. You can use whatever sound you want. The one that I use is this one right here. Modern Upright Dry Bite. Velocity is probably the most important thing when it comes to piano. If you want your piano to sound realistic, the best thing you can do is play around with the velocities. Now let's get into the effects that I use on this piano. The first thing is, if you listen to the original song, the piano is slightly detuned. To combat that, I used a pitch shifter, and I'm going to take it down by 0.24. The second thing that I want to use is a multi-band compressor. I'm going to use Prisma. I'm going to add a gain, and I'm going to slightly push it up like that. I'm going to slightly push it up. I'm going to do the same with the mids, pull it up slightly. And I'm also going to add soft clip to the highs. I'm going to push it up like that slightly. The next thing I'm going to add is a fruity EQ. I'm going to boost the high mids a little bit, just like that. I'm going to use another EQ, and this time I'm going to take off some of the frequencies that I don't want. The original piano that I have certain frequencies that don't exist on the original song. And the way I'm doing it is, I just put it up like this until I hear a frequency that I don't like or don't exist on the original song, and I'm just going to take it down like that. Just like that. And I'm going to add another EQ, and this time I'm going to take off some of the low ends. I'm also going to take off some of the high ends because you need to understand that this is a lo-fi song. There's not a lot of high quality. They wanted to sound low fidelity. They wanted to sound like they wanted to sound like trash. They wanted to sound like it was recorded on a tape or some shit. Now the next plugin that I'm going to use is called Multi-Band Distortion. And I feel like if you listen to the original song, there's a little bit of distortion in the high mids, in the highs in general. And I'm going to turn the frequency to around 800. The gain I'm going to turn all the way up, and I'm going to leave everything else as is. The next plugin I'm going to use is a transient processor. The reason why I'm using it is because I want a softer attack on my pianos. So I'm going to take the attack all the way down, and I'm not going to touch anything else. The next thing I'm going to use is another EQ. This one I use is to like clean it up, because after you add distortion and after you added Prisma and all these plugins, it starts to sound really harsh, and we don't want that. And this is why I'm using another EQ, so I can clean these frequencies up. And so I'm going to take away a little bit of the mids and a little bit of the high mids like that. And lastly, the most crucial effect is a beat crusher. I'm going to use this beat crusher, and I'm going to take it down to 15.9. Lastly, I'm going to add reverb. With all the effects, it sounds like this. Now, if you listen to the original song, you can hear that the piano was layered with some pads. I'm going to use GMS, and I'm going to use this soft TTE preset. I'm going to copy and paste the same pattern from the piano. Also, if you paid a really close attention, you can hear that there's another layer of another piano. And I'm not going to use another Addictive Keys because this piano sounds so settled, like you only hear it if you really pays real close attention. So I'm going to use the closed grand piano. And I'm just going to copy and paste the bass notes. So this is what everything sounds like together. If you paid another really close attention, you're gonna hear some vocal chants or vocal samples or vocal whatever the fuck you wanna call them. Like listen to the original song, you can hear some vocal ad-libs or whatever. I don't know what to call them, but they sound like this. Like listen to the original song, and I want you to pay really close attention. You're gonna hear some You heard that though, right? I can't play it too much because I'm gonna get copyrighted. And to recreate that, I recorded myself saying So I recorded myself saying this. It sounds horrible, I know. The only thing that's gonna make it sound good is the effects. I'm gonna use pitch shifter, and I'm gonna pitch it up 12 semitones. And I'm going to use distortion. The next effect I'm going to add is EQ. I'm gonna use this reverb plugin. Next thing I'm going to use, Cudi Panomatic. The next thing I'm going to use is delay. Before we get into the drums, I want to get into the fucking bass. I'm gonna use 3 exoscillatometers to make the bass. It's just a sound wave. Now let's get into the drums. I'm gonna start off with the kick. I'm gonna use this snare. I'm gonna layer this snare with another snare. And I'm gonna layer that snare with this snap. And we also have this tambourine sound. And I'm also gonna add this counter snare. And for the hi-hat, I'm gonna use this sound. And I'm also gonna use this white noise effect. And I also use this snare to make this sound. So this is what the drum sounds like all together. That was pretty much the first half of Reborn. There's a beat switch towards the end of the song. The beat switch is slightly faster at 105. Now the first thing you hear in the beat switch on the second beat is organs. I'm gonna use Purity, and I'm gonna use clean fast organ. The next sound I'm going to use is this soft TTE preset, and I'm just going to copy and paste them over. And now for the bass, I'm going to use the same preset that I used earlier. I'm going to add the string sections, and the preset that I'm going to use is Arco Low. So now let's get into the drums. I'm gonna use this same kick. I'm gonna use this clap, and I'm gonna layer this snare with this clap. And finally for the hi-hat, I'm gonna use this white noise effect that I made on 3 exoscillatometers. Make sure you guys like this video if you enjoyed it, and I'm gonna see you in the next one.